Yes, I'm Aramis Sundiata. Um, I am the executive director of the People's Justice Project.
Nice. So, with People's Justice Project, what inspired your mission and what keeps you grounded in the work that you do?
Oh, what inspires the mission?
Mhm.
You know, I mean, without like all the fancy stuff, um, at the end of the day, I just love us. You know what I mean? Like I love African people, Black people. I just love us, and I love how we love each other. You know what I'm saying? And I feel um, oftentimes honored and humbled that we can contribute to our struggle and the way we understand it, and then we get love from people. You know what I'm saying? Love from our people. Like we were just talking about Juneteenth on the app, and like how there were times when we were kids, and we would see the people who had the signs and the African stuff and
Mm.
your parents or whoever you was with, cousins will like go buy the stuff and you're like getting the cool stuff. And you never thought that you would be one of them one day. You know what I'm saying? And so when you see the reaction and acceptance from the people, it really humbles you. And so without like going into like Black power and all the stuff that we stand on philosophically,
Mhm.
ideologically, at the end of the day, the course of our struggle has concretely concluded that you know we just love our people, and that's just what it is. You know what I'm saying? Like that's what I guess to your question inspires me or whatever.
Mhm.
What's the other one you said?
Um, no, that's it.
Oh, okay, cool.
So, what would you say is PJP's vision for long-term impact on the community?
It changes in time and space, but the overall effort, the overall ambition is to build sustainable Black power,
Mhm.
political power in Columbus and Ohio.
Mhm.
Um, and that looks like, I would say, 4 or 5 to 3 buckets, where it's like, of course, community organizing, engagement, and raising political consciousness through education and our study groups, waging struggle through campaigns that make sense to the people, and then of course electoral work, some engagement work that makes sense for our people. You know what I mean? Moving away from we've been doing this for years, and saying it for years, but moving away from spontaneity, spontaneous things and really building organization, like building the political vehicle for people to engage in, people to have a political home. In
Mhm.
other words, like to be authentically themselves in time and space. We just happen to do it in the political arena. You know what I'm saying? And that's really it. And just being able to like, at the end of the day, you want history to remember your name. And so that's kind of like how I feel the organization thinks about it, where we wage struggle politically, freely. Um, yeah, I think that's the overall vision of it. We have this communication director that puts that stuff together on the website. You should check in on her. She might know more than
Well,
I do.
speaking of, before we started working together, what would you say were some of the biggest challenges around like either donor engagement, community outreach, or just overall communications in general? What were some of the challenges that the organization had with that?
Let me be completely honest. Like there was a huge hole of like what the new communications look like. what new communicate looks like. Like we're from a time where, you know, you had to literally like go outside and organize people, get your propaganda out there, knock on doors, go to every community event and just go to Q&A and just drop your org and like say what you're working on. You know what I mean? Like that, we call that guerrilla organizing. There was no such thing as like real like subscribe, you know what I mean? Or you know, email lists and these things like that. And so it wasn't until you showed up where I started learning the strategy and techniques to what you call marketing. When they're saying, no, you have a brand, you are a brand. Let's brand this shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, how do we engage social media? What does the impressions look? How do we map this out? So I literally threw my hands up and was like, you know what you're doing. You know what I'm saying? And like, even with the press releases and other things, like the way in which you think literally has built out the organization in ways that I couldn't even imagine. You know what I mean? And the holes were, we were just used to, because what we were trained on was just making a thing and then like and share. What do you think? You know what I'm saying? And like having the algorithm from the comments do things. But you could tell it got sloppy after a while. It was like really sloppy. Um, there was no like you call branding on it. You know what I'm saying? And so it wasn't until under your leadership that it was like, okay, this is what it's supposed to look like. Crisp, sharp, like very like razor. Like this is it. You know what I'm saying? And so that was that. I mean, there was nothing. There was nothing, you know, to be honest with
Were
you.
you hesitant about hiring like a third party person to come in and do all of your marketing for you, whereas like before you guys kind of kept it in-house?
No, no. It
Okay.
was what you know the story, baby. Like once I saw, the other organization and how their stuff looked, I was like, I know that's not you. You know what I'm saying? Like, who is doing that? And I
Mhm.
asked, and they told me who you were. I was like, man. And so I knew it was like, okay, whatever this is so uniform and crisp. And that's what I think I need, the organization needs. And so when we tapped in and Jalen Walker was developing and then you were Johnny on the spot and your shit was fire. Even the streets over there in Akron was like, yo, who is that? You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm like, man, and then once that happened, there was no hesitation. Like I like I told you all the time, like I will make sure I will raise that money. You know what I'm saying? Like it's going to happen. You know what I mean? Period. Because I know in the organization, the fundamental thing is being able to have the propaganda and telling the story. Like every popular organization, every revolutionary organization has that on lock. You know what I mean? And then when you came in, it was like that's what we have to have. You know what I mean? To be not only sustainable, but to be able to tell the story in images and techniques and marketing and how we engage the base. You know what I'm saying? So no, there was no hesitation. I saw your brilliance immediately. It was no hesitation. Like cut it out. Like it was no hesitation. There was none.
Well, you kind of answered
There
the
was none.
next
You were too good.
question.
You just what?
Thanks. You kind of already answered this question, but it was what made you choose working with TJE Communications over other marketing folks?
It well, like it never dawned on me to do that. That's
Mhm,
another part. Like I never thought about it
mhm,
until and then you were a sister too.
mhm,
Sold. I was done. You know what I mean? There was no question. You know what I'm
mhm,
saying? I understand communications from of folks from ACLU, people I work for the unions. They would do
Mm,
stuff for us on the back end. You know what I'm saying? But you're talking about marketing. You're talking about organizing that. You're talking about branding. That's a whole different conversation
yeah.
than most communication directors. You know what I'm saying? So, and you was African, say less. That was all I needed. You know what I'm saying? I was like sold.
Yeah.
I was, no.
Was there a moment that made you feel like, okay, she gets it when it comes to like PJP's mission and vision, where you felt like, okay, she understands like what we're trying to do here?
It's not about if you get it. It was more so she's gonna be like, what did I just walk into? Because what happens to most African people, like
Mm,
African folks will come into our room and assume something, and
mm,
then myself or Tammy would start just being full blown, authentically movement revolutionaries, like right in front of your face. And
mm,
but at the end of the day, just being who we are, right, with our experiences, and we know that most people have never experienced this stuff before, never seen it before. You know what I mean? We're not activists. We're very serious. And so when you came to the first community conversation, I knew when it the first training, I was like, here she is. She's gonna see it. And then there's always what often happens is a choice. That's the
mm,
question. There's a choice. Oftentimes, what happens is that like either you're going to be in this and get to know this stuff or be around it, or you're going to like critique it, or you're going to push back on it, or you're going to remove yourself.
mm,
You know, and you stepped in, which I kind of figured you would. I remember one conversation we had. Uh, we were talking about the state, and I was in the car, and running around, and I was like, okay, she's doing it. You know what I'm saying? Because now I was like, okay, she's listening, she's hearing. You know what I mean? She's struggling with the questions. And then I remember we talked about Black Power Matters, and you were like, what? I'm like, we can say whatever we want. We are free. You know what I'm saying? Like, what? And so, yes, indeed, you definitely are. You are deeper in the org than I expected, but honestly, it's not it's because you're so smart and the things you say are valuable to build organization. And by your personality, it's just, you just smoothly came in and you definitely adhered to the principles and everything. And you've added on to the principles, really. You know what I'm saying? Like there's not a move we make without having you in it. Like I don't make decisions without all three of y'all. And you have a very big like say. You know what I'm saying? Because you've been around so long and your worldview is centered on your own experiences. So yeah, man, like there's no PJP without T in this new phase of development. Like there really isn't. It doesn't make any sense. Especially when you come outside and like I watched you like, put the jersey on, the shirt on, and like step in and be like, yo, if we do this. And I remember that one time we was over there. I know it's gonna be long with it, but we are over there at the university and you came in and I wasn't even expecting you to say anything. And then you started saying stuff. And I was like, oh, okay. You know what I'm saying? Like, but in your own perspective. You
yeah.
know what I mean? It was like, all right, yeah, yeah, yeah. What she said. You know what I'm saying? PJP, you know what I'm saying? So that was really I'm really grateful for you, dead ass. Dead ass.
Mm. So the next few questions are kind of about like process and everything and results. Um, it's one question. Let me see. There's some of them are kind of similar. What has your experience been like, working with TJE Communications on like a day-to-day basis, good or bad?
I mean, amazing.
Okay.
There's not there's really no negative feedback at
Mm,
all. Uh-uh. I can't. No, I can't. The only time I guess give you like feedback is you had a baby,
Yeah.
and that like you know what I'm saying? It's like, what do I do? And then you said, "This is my assistant." Who? That's
Oh.
the only time I was. Who in the groove? Like, what? Like, we have calls every Tuesday. Like, what are you not gonna
Right.
have? You know what I mean? But that was really the only
Fair.
time. God damn it! Yeah.
Yeah.
But that's really it. Just no, it's been amazing. You know what I mean? And also to watch your growth, man. Like that's
Mhm.
ill. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
you tapping in with other folks and like being able to observe, social and know when it's your work, your aesthetic.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, you know what I mean? That is dope to me as fuck.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So yeah, that's ill too. And people being able to see you. People see you,
Yeah.
saying which is ill. So I
Can
think
you share like any specific wins since working together? Like any, I don't know, anything.
man, every listen, let me say it like this. I don't think you appreciate or know
Mm,
how powerful it is when I can go right for money, right?
mm,
And they, it's some type of applications or things, or even just talking to a donor, uh,
mhm,
or go to the website or the social, and they see
mhm,
your quick reels.
mm, mhm.
Like, I cannot explain to you how helpful and powerful that is.
Yeah.
It's a level up because when you look at so when you I'm not saying too much gems right now, but I'm gonna say it anyway.
Okay.
So when you see when you know the length and breadth of the lower 48 and when it
Mm,
funding, and then you see how many orgs are out there, and then
mhm,
how much money's out there, and also what work is happening, you have to try to make your shit sexy as hell. Like you have to make it to the extent that it's not necessarily different, but like
mm,
it stands out. And your social media and your website design and the way in which like you put things together sets us apart from a lot of people. Like
mhm,
I'm talking like I've seen the grants and I've seen the orgs, you get so much. I'll be out of town somewhere and
mhm,
they will just know us from the social and then be like, yo, who's doing your comps? You know what I mean? That's T. You know that people in Cincinnati, I can
mm.
be in Detroit, I can be wherever, you know what I'm saying? People say that. And so, but sorry, I'm smoking. It's gonna be on your thing. Sorry, hold on. I forgot about that part. No, like those are wins to me. Um, because when you can take a snippet of your stuff and throw it into like a biography or whatever, or who you are, like, I had to put your name down and like put you in there. You know what I mean? Like it sets us apart to like
Yeah.
other type of people who are trying to raise dollars.
Mm,
So it's every time it's a win. Every
mm,
time. Every time. Every time. It isn't. That's why I always get so excited.
mm.
Oh, okay. Can you do it real? Yeah, I'll do it. You're like, I'll do it. And it's like, no, you understand, like this is crazy because people lose their minds. Like, you know what I'm saying? And what I see in
Yeah.
that part of the work, like that's what I see. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
So yeah, every time's a win. So it's like every time. You know what I mean? I wish you could honestly see it, the response.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So if someone, came to you, maybe another nonprofit or what have you, and they were unsure about investing in marketing or communications, what would kind of be your response to that?
Well, I will tell them this, no cap. Put in at least 2 years of serious work before you go into the bucket of marketing.
Mm-hmm.
They're going to want, I learned from you, they're going to want to have something ready to go and ready to market. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Um, Startups are startups, you know, and shelf lives for orgs like ours is about 2 years. And so
Mm-hmm.
once you get past that 2 year mark, you have a good breadth of 2 to 3 years of work, then
Mm-hmm.
tap in and see what they can do
Mm-hmm.
and start low. You know what I'm saying? Like, don't go trying to be like, all the things, because learning from you, you're going to you need to have the stuff already being done and
Mm-hmm.
planned out for you to do what you do. So, in other
Mm-hmm.
words, I would suggest, yes, do it, but have a good 2 to 3 years of stuff behind you,
Mm-hmm.
but then you're just wasting your time and wasting money.
Yeah.
I mean, you just waste time, wasting money, and it's going to be confusing, and it's going to be difficult for you to do what you do if you're
Mm-hmm.
not very serious about what you're doing. You know what I mean? You
Right.
don't want to play with people like you. You know what I'm saying? Like your truth, and it's like, yo, it's yeah,
Yeah.
that's how I look at it. Yeah, hope that makes sense.
Mm-hmm. No, that's perfect. If you were gonna recommend me to someone, what would you say?
Don't outspend me. Like that's what I'll say. You're fucking. No, I will. I definitely hype you up a lot.
Yeah.
So, because you're all I know and all I
Mhm.
really want to know. I'm loyal to the people who throw down. You know what I'm saying? So I don't, I don't know anyone else as ill as you. So, plus I always roll with the best anyway. So it's like,
Right.
if you want some marketing shit, like holla at T. You know what I'm saying? That's point blank. You know what I mean? Like there's nobody else doing it like you doing it, and the way
Mhm.
you do it. You know what I'm saying? And it's very authentic because it's like you. It's not you are you have a whole business. Like that's your thing. So, you know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? That tells a lot about your character in the first place.
Mhm.
Committed to that and what that takes to do that. Like you're
Right.
different just by that. So of course I hype you up. I mean, people ask me, I'm like, yeah, but she with me though, right? Like, she with us. You know what I'm saying? She's movement. She's in that shit. And
Mhm.
she ain't gonna do no cakewalk stuff. You know what I'm saying? Don't come with some silly stuff.
Right.
And it's very clear. I'm gonna be honest with you, T. Like, it's very obvious working with you and under your leadership, like seeing the differences between like a serious marketing program, a seriously marketing plan and strategy, and even content to others who, even if they're a popular organization, like it's garbage. You know what I'm saying? You can just tell that the
Mhm.
person isn't like has not been doing this for like over a decade. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
You can see it. Even you taught me like that's trash. That's trash. It's like, yeah, it is. You know what I'm saying? And so like it's so like it's hard to you taught me so much about what it should look like, how it should be, that I'm able to see, oh, there's no plan here. You know what I mean? Oh, that's not a strategy. You know what I mean? Oh, that's just Canva. You know what I mean? Like you taught me all this stuff. I didn't know nothing. You know.
Mhm.
Yeah. So of course, I would always recommend you, girl. You my girl. Shit.
So,
Ubuntu, baby. I am because we are, baby. Shit, we all got. You know.
yay. Well, thank you so much. That was so nice.